Good day, my friends. Tis I, Grandpa, on the road. On the road with Mrs. L. As you can guess, kind of where we are live right now, as you can tell by the sunlight. We are not on the East Coast. Do the math, my friends. Do the math. So much I want to say to you. I don't even know where, but first, I want to make sure the accommodations that we are right now has not the greatest internet. Am I coming in okay? Is it 5x5, as the kids say? That's all I want to know. Is it 5x5? Okay? That's all I want to know. I don't want to go through this stuff and have somebody say, hey, I can't hear you, or it looks okay to me, but the baud rate as it is, good. It seems to be a little bit, so that's it. My friends, where do we even begin? Do you have any idea? Thank you. Any idea of what is happening now and what has happened since the White House Correspondents' Dinner? Anybody? Anybody care to venture? What has happened? Wait a minute. Look who this is. Paulie Cigars. Paulie Cigars. The best Paulie Cigars from Arthur Avenue. Check him out. That is the one I hope we're talking about, who has the famous Bronx Tale. Please go into see Paulie Cigars. Make sure you see him at Arthur Avenue in the Bronx. Absolutely the greatest. This is Little Italy. This is it. This is the real McCoy. And this man, this beautiful man, has these wonderful cigar makers right there. Wonderful products. Please go see him. He's right in the center there. By the way, when you go there, make sure you see my good friend, another great guy, David Greco from Mike's Deli. Again, classics. Get the olive bread at Maldonia. Anyway. Now, let us start. First, I'm going to take you on a trip, a kind of an intellectual trip, and I'm going to show you how to think about this. Random thoughts. First, I love Joe Kent. Somebody please tell him how to pronounce the word nuclear. No. See, he's got me doing it. It's nuclear. He's doing the nuclear again. What the hell's going on? Hey guys. It's Candace's birthday. Well, bless her heart. By the way, she had them going, didn't she? Again, I'm going to be throwing things out left and right. You're going to say, where is it coming? I'm throwing curves and sliders and screwballs and knuckleballs. Whenever I say, she has been responsible for all of this. Everything. 2026, this is the year of Candace. Actually, maybe end of 2025 with, I say this with all due respect, the demise of our own Charlie. But this is a different world. We are another. We are it. And Paulie, these are our friends. Please say hello to Paulie. The best. This is where we are. But nuclear, not nuclear. Nuclear is called a cacoepy. There's orthoepy, and that's where you're very punctilious and priggish and very precise as to the pronunciations. This is a mispronunciation. Nuclear is of or pertaining to a nucleus. There's no nucleus. It doesn't exist. Look at this. Renee says, what did Jimmy do? Are you kidding me? Renee, are you kidding me? Renee, are you kidding me? Renee, are you back on the pipe? What did Jimmy do? What did Jimmy do? We'll start about that today. By the way, we're a great team. What did he do? What did he do? He should be shit canned, and I'll tell you why. So much. Erica, Trump, the ballroom, this absolute cacophony of merde that we saw this weekend. Unbelievable. Look at this, Paulie. Paulie's feels the love. Feel the love, Paulie. Feel the love. This is the most important thing. Um, I don't even know where to start. I am right now. How do I say this? I am probably um, the most. I guess you might say this. I am probably the most frightened. By the way, let me do this right now. One more thing. Just let me give a shout out. Love to my boy Polly Winnicregger. Here is his link right now, ladies and gentlemen. This is it. LCG cigars. Please do this. Please see this. This is just incredible. See his stuff, see his work. Again, I always want to help great people and nice guys and great fans. And by the way, special shout out to your father as well. Good people. Salt of the earth, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, so no particular order. Jimmy Kimmel, who is dying. He is dying. He is necrotic. There is no angiogenesis. There's no circulation. His limbs are necrotic. He's not functioning anymore. He's a tired old little bitch. Look at this. He's a botaneda. Look at this. Texas Beach Girl says Kimmel can whine and cry his way out of this. Can't. You're right. But first of all, he's an anachronism. It'll be like Milton Berle. He's this little punk whose model is over. And he cried like a little bitch when they basically gave him the heave-ho until whatever this period of time is. He and Colbert and all these folks, they're a part of a system, a part of a world, a part of a system that just didn't exist. It doesn't exist now. And even Johnny Carson, the great, never got into politics this way. But his politics is dangerous, and I will explain to you. Right now, there's a fellow named David Zaslav. Zaslav was responsible for basically shuttering through Discover, just taking all of this and collapsing CNN and destroying all this and basically selling it for what it's worth in terms of the film vault and certain platforms that it is responsible for. Every now and then something changes, something dies, something is over, something is finished, something is through, something is done, okay? Our good friend, by the way, Paulie, see this, how they come in? This is Leslie Watson says, are there behind-the-scenes conversations going on about the Secret Service operations? And Kimmel is boring. Yeah, Kimmel is boring. Kimmel, I would rather suck a hospital mop. Seriously. I would rather lance an infected hemorrhoid with a spork and squat over a vat of alcohol than listen to him. He's not funny. The people who write him, his wife is the assistant producer, whatever it is, for this nonsense show. But what he did was he is saying the expectant widow. He is laughing about assassination. He is laughing about it. The Supreme Court in Brandenburg, I don't know the year, Brandenburg against Ohio, basically said, and it dealt with the Grand Cyclops. This was a Klansman, was saying these absolutely horrible, terrible things about black people. As you can imagine, these people are wont to do. So anyway, the Supreme Court said you cannot stop speech unless it poses an imminent threat. If I am constantly inculcating you, imbuing you, saturating you with the idea that it's not only funny to talk about the demise of President Trump, our president. By the way, Biden was my president, even though I didn't care for him, because it's the Article 2 position. It's not that somebody I like. He's my president. Anyway, they're constantly telling you and laughing and joking about hurting him. Kathy Griffin and others. And then when he is hurt, I don't care what anybody says, when he is hurt, as he was in Butler, I don't care what anybody tells you. How this happened, does it look funny? It looks almost impossible. But did he go out and do this himself? No. This is what we were saying the other day. People were saying this the other day. But that's okay. That's one thing. But for you to laugh about something, mock about something, if you were to go out and God forbid, please, God forgive me, this is an example. If you were to joke about Obama being enslaved, or let's say himself dismissed, expurgated, bowdlerized permanently from reality through some type of horrible violence, you would be off so fast your head would spin. You'd be called a racist. You'd be called violent. And in the case of Brandenburg, these particular threats would be so, believe me, they would be interpreted by a court as being somehow imminent, calling for imminent threats, but also kind of a desensitization. Nobody ever did this. Nobody ever talked about this. Nobody ever joked about, no. You couldn't say anything about Obama. You couldn't say anything. Seaside says, I never watched Kimmel. Don't know what else to do. Don't know what else to do. But you see, here's the thing, Seaside, and thank you. The thing to do is to go after not Kimmel, but ABC. Kimmel's a nothing. I don't even want to mention his name. I really don't. He's a punk. He's doing everything in his power to go out with a bang. He sucks. He's over. It's done. He's through. This is his attempt, his stab at being, what, Lenny Bruce, I guess? Something along those lines. He's an absolute schmuck. He's a nothing. But what they're doing is they're laughing about this. And they are basically, in essence, doing the same as if I laughed about, let's say, Obama. Remember Obama in particular. And by the way, I don't endorse this. They would have. It'd be over with. It would be so racist per se, and you could say, well, since when is being racist against the law? The thing is this: I'll play your game with you, but you can't be selective. Okay. If you want to go after Trump, I'm going to go after Obama, or Ilhan Omar, or Kamala Harris, and I want to do the same thing. Okay. If you want to joke, I'm going to joke about them being hurt. And I'm going to tell these people out there, ooh, all my J6 friends, all these guys with eye patches and camis and beer guts, you know what I mean? And I'm going to tell these guys who live out there in Idaho in the woods and, heavily armed, I'm going to tell them, hey, guess what? This guy's the enemy. That looks weird. Turn that off. This guy's the enemy. This guy's the bad guy. This is a bad, this. It could get dangerous. I wouldn't do this. See, when you tell a bunch of people to do something, you get vigilante groups. You get people who want to do something drastic, people who want to do something wrong. Years ago, the Southern Poverty Law Center actually, at one point was pretty good, but they infected it. They took it over just like they did with American Labor when organized crime did it. So Morris Dees came up with the idea that said, when he sued the National or the American Klan, whatever, the North American Klan Association, he said that it would be similar to, let me move this over here. There we go. It would be similar to standing in front of a dog who was an attack dog. And the attack dog is trained to attack when he hears the word gizmodo. And I know when I say that word, I know that dog's going to attack. Gizmodo. Okay? You got it? Great. So if I stand in front of the dog and I say gizmodo and he attacks you, I can't claim First Amendment rights. There are people in this country that I do not necessarily, there are some wonderful people, but there are some folks who are scary. And we're not necessarily on the same page. We sort of believe, but there are some people who could get real violent real fast. January 6th was not one of them. January 6th was a joke. January 6th was a bunch of provoked. These were agents provocateurs. These were agents, provocateur agents who worked part and parcel with a couple of well-meaning kind of, Gadsden flag, live free or die. That's not my style, but that's maybe it's theirs. The tree of liberty, Jefferson, the tree of liberty is fertilized with the blood of whatever the hell it was. So they knew they were going to be there. So what they did was they made sure they insinuated people in there who were they were basically provocateurs to bring things up. Okay, those people can get dangerous. I'm surprised. Thank God there was nobody hurt. By the way, the only people who were hurt that day from the law enforcement were hurt or died afterwards, not that day. Did you know one of the I believe it was the first Secret Service agent who died, not there, but at home, a stroke or something. He listened all the time to the show. In fact, because a Secret Service agent stopped Mrs. Alamy and said, I want to tell you, so he recognized me. He says, I want to let you know. He listened. So he kind of dug this. So what I'm saying is, I'm a firm believer in the Second Amendment. I'm a rabid, absolutely perfervid, ardent believer in that. But I'm not crazy about open carry. I'm not crazy. I respect how quick things could switch. But if I knew I was talking in front of a bunch of people who were armed and who were about to go over that line, so to speak, those who felt like maybe they thought that I don't know, that the world was beyond their control, that maybe they weren't in charge anymore, I would not say anything like, we're going to get them, we're going to go after them. I just wouldn't say things like that. Why? Because even though what I'm saying is perfectly okay, I know the tendency, dear friend, of these things, and I know how it works. Do you see what I'm saying? I know how it works. Let me explain something to you. Jimmy Kimmel and others want something terrible to happen to the president. They blend a kind of a combination of immaturity, this political nescience, they're political tyros, they are cephalogical tyros, to be specific. And they're people who've never really understood this in ever. And they everything to them is personal. Everything is personal. And what bothers me the most about these idiots, these fools, is very simply this. They get so wrapped up in this. Seriously, they get so wrapped up that they don't know how to put things into perspective. And what scares me the most about them, is that they are in a position where they are not going to be happy unless and until something terrible happens to our president. I mean this from the bottom of my heart. From the bottom of my heart. And it's not just Jimmy Kimmel, it's Kathy Griffin and all those people, because they do not know it. They are, listen to what I'm saying, my friends. And Paulie, you know this. You've met some people before who don't have brakes. Laura Loomer doesn't have brakes. She has no executive. You talk about Trump or whatever to her. Well, she's a rabid pro-Trump. Nick Fuentes. See, I'm going to teach you something too. When I say that, by the way, please don't think I'm being how do I say this? Don't think I'm being pedantic, where I'm saying these things. But anyway, Nick Fuentes makes a lot of sense, and then sometimes he says things that I wouldn't say it that way. Laura Loomer has said wonderful things in the past. Tucker Carlson has said good things, sometimes things I don't agree with. Now, when I say I don't agree with somebody, it doesn't mean I hate them. It just means I may not agree with you. You may not like mushrooms. I love mushrooms. I don't agree with you. That's okay. But Laura Loomer cannot stop. He said she is paid to say anything. She is trying to, you know what a virus is? A virus is not human. I'm not saying she's not human, but a virus is basically a means of introducing a new genetic code, which goes in and reworks and rewires and reconfigures the genetic matrix of something. A bacterium is living. You kill a bacterium, but a virus, it's not the same thing. She is almost like a virus. She does not exist. She will, whatever satisfies her sense of belonging, she'll do it. It could be Zionism, Israel, Catholic next, whatever. She has no inherent belief in anything. She just wants very much to be there. Erica Kirk, same thing. We'll get to her in a moment. So these people, when you go out there, let me tell you what we do. I don't mention this schmuck's name. First of all, he's a nobody. I also want to tell you something. I would bet you. Well, let me stop you. In the Lionel world, I have a thing that I say. And when you hear me say, I wouldn't be surprised, that means I think that's what happened. But I don't know for sure, but I'm kind of leaning that way. You know what I mean? You see, sometimes you can tell, you walk into a room, if you're a homicide dick, and there's 4 different types, modes of death. And I've told you this all the time, using the acronym NASH, N-A-S-H. Natural, accidental, suicide, homicide. You can walk into a room and you can say, oh, look at this poor guy. Look at this one. Next to the bed, left and no, bottle of pills. I'm going to with a presumption of self-harm in this one. Somebody slips in the tub, hits their head. It's an accident. Natural, 85-year-old guy, doesn't wake, looks natural. And then there's homicide. Homicide is a death caused at the hands of others. So you just know this. Now, you don't know who did it. You don't know what the motive was, but this was not whatever. Just like in the case of Epstein, we knew immediately by virtue of the medical evidence that it was not a self-harm. By virtue of, again, I keep saying it, hyoid and bone and thyroid cartilage fracture that cannot be created or mimicked or reproduced by suspension ligature. No. Sorry. So Jimmy Kimmel knows that there are people out there like this guy who leaves a manifesto because they're nothing. They're vapid void, vacuous little vacant vessels of vacuity. They have nothing. And what we have told these idiots since the days of by the way, if you can, don't give your kid a middle name. They can never be a serial killer. Because, Jerry Smith cannot be a serial killer. As James Melvin's, Jerry Smith doesn't. Like Paulie. Oh, maybe Paulie, Paulie. It's a beautiful name. You can't be a serial killer. I mean, you could, but you're too successful selling cigars for the love of God. Why would you do that? All right. So in any event, we have to realize that under the Brandenburg case, the Supreme Court case, Brandenburg case, they are creating such a situation where there is a great tendency, a propensity, a predilection, a predisposition, a propensity for some type of harm to be effectuated against somebody else because of the fact that we know how these things work. We know how these people are. And when you go up and you laugh, and you make this guy out to be some kind of a whatever. By the way, he was a schmuck. And let me tell you the way you do it. The way you do it is the same way you do with Luigi Mangione. You make fun of him. See, Luigi Mangione thought he was brilliant. This guy thought he was brilliant too. Caltech, I'm brilliant. You get somebody and you laugh like hell and say, what were you thinking? First of all, what type of weapons? The only thing you didn't have was a flintlock. What the hell did you think you were going to get accomplished with that? What's the matter with you? What was that? That was the most stupid thing I've ever seen in my life. What were you doing? You're a joke. You're a punk. This is ridiculous. What were you going to do with this? Seriously, what? People are wondering what's going on here. You're a schmuck. Leave a manifesto. Wipe your ass with your manifesto. What does this mean? A manifesto. What's a manifesto? It's a bunch of meandering, kind of an inconclusive. I don't know what it is. thoughts, random, don't know what this stuff is. What is it supposed to be? What is it supposed to be? I don't understand. I don't get it. Just because I write down and say, I hate Trump and this and this, I'm like, shut up with that. Now you want to see a manifesto? Look at the Unabomber. Now that's one. You remember how many pages? I don't know what the hell the guy was talking about. Neither does he. That's a manifesto. But somebody writing "Woe is me" and "I hate my life" and "I feel like a girl" in Facebook does not a manifesto make. These are nothing. They're the worst. That's the way I would do it. I would play them as they're not. He's going to end it for the rest of his life. He's not insane. He's not insane. He's not insane. By the way, but you know, the Jimmy Kimmel, by the way, that's over. That's done. It's finished. This is like the last one. It's done. All of this is over. Late night. By the way, the model, the bands. I think they're going to have a guy with a boom box eventually. There's the only late night person who might maybe kind of sort of survive. I think might be, believe it or not, Jimmy Fallon, whom I've never seen, because of the fact that that's the Tonight Show. Okay, you got it. That's the story. That's the thing. And by the way, our good friend Leslie Watson says, "Are there?" Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. You did say that. I thought it was a new one. Yes, there are behind the scenes. All right. So let's just move on and forget this. He doesn't matter. Jimmy Kimmel is done. So what? It's over. It's nothing. Now, here's the issue. Here's the next story. You got that? By the way, what's Melania Trump doing? I love this one. Kimmel, let him be. Why would you want to shut him and free speech down? Live and let live. Que sera, sera. Thank you. Whatever. But que sera, sera means what evening, what evening. You know, bonasera, that's what you said. Que sera, sera. Que sara, sara, S-A-R-A is what was to be. You said what evening, what evening. Maybe that's what you meant to say, but that's not what it was about. Okay? Now, let me try this again because sometimes I realize I'm speaking to people who are they starura. They starura. Why do you want to cut down free speech? Live and let live. Okay. Let me try it again. Take two. If I made jokes about certain people being lynched or put into chains or something that was not only historically opprobrious and horrible, you would be que-sera-seraing nowhere. You'd be furious. That's racist. It's vile. It's hate speech. Hate speech. Hate. And I would have argued then as well. I would have said, I'm with you then. But what you didn't do, my little lib friends, my libtard friends, is you showed me what the rules were. You said, no, we're not going to play with that game. I said, okay. If you want me to give, some type of a dispensation to Jimmy's First Amendment rights, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to just do it. But you didn't let it before. How many of you find people were in Facebook jail or shut down or deplatformed or demonetized because you dared to opine about palliative medication regimens for various viral components? How many of you were shut down because you dared to question the 2020 election? Where was que sera, sera over there? Nowhere. Because this is the hypocritical bullshit that people get all the time. They have this idea that, I think First Amendment. Really? Okay. I'm going to go out and I'm going to trash trans people. I'm going to just let them have it. And I'm going to say what I wish we could do. Now, I'm not saying I believe this, but I'm going to say, you know what? There's some guys in Eastern Europe in the 1920s. They knew what to do with trans people. They had nothing to do with it because they viewed it as a blight against society. Now, do you think que sera, sera there would say, well, that's his opinion? Bullshit. You would have said, you can't say that. That's horrible. This is violent speech. You're instigating. You are getting very close to inspiring, to provoking to enlivening and awakening this way, right? So pick it, remember, whatever you want it to be, that's it. Personally, I've always said, I think you should be able to say anything. Oh, and one more thing, que sera, one more thing. I'm not talking about the government shutting them down. Did you hear me say that? Did you? Did you? Did you hear me? Did you hear me? Did you hear me? All of the stories and all of the things and all of the stuff that goes on that we have to tolerate. I would have normally said, look, that's just the way it goes. But you told me no. It's a different story then. You treated me. So let's just stop this. So here's the deal. We might have had a reason. I was the one who argued against hate crimes. I've been arguing against hate crimes my whole life. My whole life. Doesn't make any sense. I was the one who said, by the way, it's legal to hate, completely legal and constitutional to hate somebody. But what I was going to say, que sera, as you know, the Constitution, the First Amendment, prohibits the government. Congress shall pass no law. Congress. And by the way, by and through its derivative, antecedent, subsidiary government issues, for example, the city, county, state, it can be state, it can be county, anytime government, and that, of course, is through incorporation by reference of the First and 14th Amendment, through Barron against Baltimore, the incorporation of reference by the 14th Amendment, where we apply the constitutional Bill of Rights to states. Because, anyway, I'm sure you knew this. I'm not talking about the government shutting them down. Did anybody hear me say that President Trump should shut them down? Did you? Now, what que sera and her bullshit brethren did was they would go to people who enjoyed platforms that we were all a part of. And they say, hey, listen, you can shut them down, not me. You tell them that what they're saying happens to violate your terms of service or whatever it is. What? Yeah, that it's disinformation. What the hell is disinformation? I don't know. And you did it. And you laughed at it. And you didn't give me all this nonsense about, well, live and let live. Nonsense. You're a hypocritical, you are so infected with hypocrisy. I'm surprised you can even see straight. See, that's what I'm saying. You made the rules. Remember, like Tom Cruise said, remember, you wanted this. This is the way you want to act. That's fine. Okay. So Jimmy Kimmel this is another example of way to go. Way to go. The night after an assassination attempt, in essence, this guy's joking about it and calling Melania the expectant widow. You think that's funny? Okay, maybe you do think it's funny. Well, here's the thing. I don't want FCC to come in and do something. I want you to put pressure on them. Like Cesar Chavez did, that sexual predator. Let you put pressure. Boycott, sponsors him. Just make this guy hit him where it counts. That's all. That's all. Okay, Sarah. Now, let's talk about this. Let's get some things straight. First of all, Stephen Miller was not behind his wife using her as a human shield. Let me say that again. Because once a meme gets going, oh my God, the putative shooting angle, the live fire, came from behind him as they were walking out. He was behind her. He did have his hand cupping her breast, which I thought was interesting. But aside from that, he was behind her. I'm not a big Stephen Miller fan. He says some things. His style I'm not crazy about, but so I'm not some Stephen Miller sycophant, but that's not what happened. That's not what happened. That's what they say happened, but it didn't happen. It's wrong. But people say that because it makes such a great meme. And by the way, what's so great now about X is you got all these wonderful community notes underneath it. So you can see this. He goes, nope, nope, nope. They even a community note. Elon goes, nope, that's not it. That's not it. Okay. Now, the story of all stories is Erica Kirk. This woman is devoid, absent any. She's like the virus. She will move in. Hey, that didn't work. Erica, the entrepreneur, didn't work. You want to do an industrial film for EMPs? Okay, do that. How was that? Nah, okay, forget that. How about a pageant? You want to join a pageant, or we'll come up with some ridiculous story about how you were, pulled off the street and asked to be a You want to do that one? Huh? That didn't work. Okay. How about a kind of a reality show? You want to do that? We'll do a sizzle reel. You want to do that one? No. You want to do the virginal routine where you say you never dated, you never drank, You want to do that one? No, it's bullshit. You're right about that. Well, we can do the entrepreneur. You can have these companies that nobody really knows about that you built from scratch. We can also talk about your work as a quasi trafficking simulacrum, with these ridiculous these orphanages, or they can't go back to Romania. What? Oh, how about a real estate mogul? You want to try that one? That didn't work either. Okay. Oh, what to do? La-di-da, la-di-da. Wait a minute. Hey, Laurie Franz, the mother, who is a predator from way back. She is, oh my God. She's like Alexis from Dynasty. Hey, we happen to be in Israel at the Ben Gurion airport. Who's that over there? That's Charlie. Who's he with? Ooh, that's that Candace. Ooh, she's not good. Well, she's smart. She's funny. People love her, and there's there. But by God, this is your meal ticket. This is your meal ticket, honey. Why? First of all, Charlie is a good guy, but he probably had the sexual experience of a mollusk. All right, I'm just saying. I'm pretty good at this. I could tell. I don't think he had his clock rocked. You know what I mean? I don't think he ever met a real pro. I don't mean a prostitute, but I mean somebody who really knew what they were doing. Summer the first time, baby. Bobby Goldsboro. You see, one of the best part, I shouldn't say the best part, but one of the aspects about going out, I think, when you're a young person, when you're young and unattached and all this, is through the regular, travails and course of your life, is to go out and just see, put your freak on and see what happens. Because there's a lot of stuff you're going to do when you're young. Later on, you're going to say, no. But you didn't know. You didn't know. I'm not talking about things that are involving anything illegal, anything that's non-consensual. But let's face it. If you were, not me, mind you, but you, and Paulie, I'm not even going to talk about you. But imagine some of you people, especially you ladies, when you were rocking and rolling in the 80s and 90s. Oh man, you want your kids to know about this? Hell no. But the point is, it gives you a sense of ballast. I don't think Charlie ever had that. I think she took one look at him and saw him. Charlie was a great guy, but he was like a simpleton, though. He looked, but in a nice way. I'm not trying to do it. He was brilliant, but in terms of the ways of the world, the dark side, the underbelly, I don't think he knew that, and she did. She and that mother, oh man, she's seen the inside of a few Holiday Expresses. You know what I mean? You know what socks in the pocket is. You know about that. She'd probably come home at like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning with her socks in her pocket and cockatoo hair, telling your neighbors, "Hey, how are you? I'm just going back. I forgot something." No, I'm not. I'm not coming home. No. And she saw him and said, "I'm missing." And then when he realized, oh shit. Let me ask you, dear friends. How many of you have had the experience when you realized that the person that I hope you marry, but the person you were with or whatever, you realize one day, oh my God, this is a serial killer. I mean, not literally, but I mean, this person is a conniving, mendacious. Oh my God. Oh my God. I don't. And you realize, who knew? Huh? Huh? You ever have somebody? You ever have somebody? You got that? Charlie, towards the end of his life, realizes they were absolutely just looting. It seemed to him and others, perhaps, TPUSA. I had heard, I don't know, I'm not the only one, but said that he was looking at either a divorce lawyer or something, figuring something out. He was scared. And I'll bet you anything, Candace knows a hell of a lot more about this and is not at liberty to tell us what's going on. He knew it. He realized it. He's not stupid. And plus, how many times you spend 5 minutes with and say, Charlie, can I have a word with you? Yeah. What the hell are you doing? This is a viper. This is a pit viper. This is a piranha. This is a cobra. What are you doing? Be with you in a minute, Erica EK. Be with you in a minute. Get out of here now, man. Seriously, before it's too late. She'll take everything. This woman, I swear to you. Have you met somebody who recently says, why are you so mean to her? I say, have you paid attention to her? Have you paid attention to what's going on? Have you? Have you paid attention? One time, well, years ago, I used to joke when I was on WABC, as a matter of fact. And I came in, and it was at the time of Nancy Kerrigan and Tanya Harding, or as we call her, Botanya Harding. And Tanya Harding got the guy Galuli or whatever, and took that baton, basically kneecapped her. Remember that? And when she said, no, why me? Why? Okay. That was terrible. When I went in the air, I thought, I got something crazy. I'm going to say, see what it is? See what that selfish bitch did? See, she doesn't want her to be upset or to be harmed. Oh, no. She wants you. Because she's saying, why me? Meaning, it should have been you. This woman hates you. And I made up this crazy idea. And people called up and go, what are you talking about? I said, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And it was deliberately far-fetched. But there was a little bit of kind of truth to it. Because Nancy Kerrigan was like, she was like this little pretty girl. And with her nice, Tanya's like, that's a scrappy competitor. She's scrappy. She made her own tights. And I mean, really tough. Anyway. Well, Erica thinks I'm just the greatest. It's just a matter of finding somebody out. And they said, but Erica, you don't understand appropriate. What's that? See? You don't know. You don't understand that you've got to stop this crying bullshit. Everybody, do you see this guy, Michael? I think his name is Michael Glantz. He's there in the front finishing his meal. Everybody's ducking and diving. He says, I'm from New York. I don't care. Other people would say, is there the wine? Can I take the wine? Grab the wine. Can the centerpiece too? Can I have it? Are you finishing your profiterole? Can I take that with me too? Can you wrap this up? Get a napkin. People are walking around. People are talking. Dana White from UFC, he's walking around. Hey, I found awesome. He's not the sharpest knife in the drawer. It's very good business, but he's walking around. People are saying, well, that's the way it is. That's great. And they're kind of dealing with it in a way, Well, guess who's the only one who couldn't take it? Erica. I just want to go home, Daddy. I wanted to puke. And you're going to say, oh, there you are. There you are, not understanding that this woman knows a little bit about assassin. Excuse me, she wasn't even there. In fact, according to Christine Feckerty, I hope you saw that interview. We had a great time together. Christine Feckerty says that she never even saw the film or the actual shooting. I don't know if that's true or not. But this woman had to do it. She had to do it. She had to seize the moment. She had to own it. You don't understand. This is her world. You're just living in it. You don't understand how this works. This is who she is. You don't understand. I can't make this clearer to you. You got it? You understand what I'm saying? And she's not going away. These morons at TPUSA don't realize that this woman isn't like, there isn't one woman. Ladies, have you met a woman who likes Erica Kirk? Be honest. Maybe Kay Sarah does. This poor lady's walking around yelling, what evening, what evening? Huh? Do you know anybody? Do you know anybody? Any woman who likes, who connects with her? Anybody? Do you? Do you? J.D. Vance vindicated for his defense of her. J.D. Vance doesn't have a ball, a vertebra. He's a spineless. This guy was so pussified when he goes to Islamabad and he's on the phone when they're trying to make a deal. He says, excuse me, I got to go back. Hey, Bibi, is it okay? Yeah. Can't do it. Why? The president says we can't do it. Trump? No, Bibi. He did this. And Bibi even said, they report to me, spineless. And he wanted to go back again. And they're sending Witkoff and Gavin Cook. I would have said, I look like the biggest pussy who's ever lived, and I want to be president. No. Marco Rubio is smart. He's in the background. He says, no, Vance, you take care of it. And of course, there's President Trump. He doesn't know. Look, Donald Trump's a lot of things, but one thing is, if he thinks you're hot, or he thinks you're popular, or you're the cool person, or you're on TV, he loves you. That's why he picked that boneheaded Alina Habba and that other ditz in West Virginia to be the U.S. attorney. And Kash Patel, I'm getting laid. Oh my God. This guy still, did you see him outside trying to get an Uber? Sitting there with his wife? Just, they're ignoring him? What do you need? What do you need? J. Edgar Hoover would have had a phalanx, a coterie, a cordon of sycophants and assistants all around him. Are you kidding me? Did you see this? And why was Rush? Why did they go after him first? I mean, they yank him out of there. And poor Melania, she's on the ground. I don't even know how she went underneath the table, and then I never saw her again. Cheryl Hines behind Bobby Kennedy. Bobby, they're running with him. Excuse me. You can't accommodate the spouse? It was, and then they got to Trump, and then he tripped, and then you see him in the back. He didn't even leave. This thing looks so phony. How many of you call bullshit right away? How many of you? Here's your favorite word: staged, a false flag, black ops, whatever. Say it. How many of you believe that? Say it. Tell me. Tell me. This is the best one ever. Look at this. They're all schmucks. By the way, notice you do the German spelling of schmucks versus the Yiddish. It's like SH. Interesting. Interesting. This is just incredible. I don't know what it was. It was so bad that there was so much wrong with it. It's like, I don't even know. I don't even know. It's like if a car is driving down the road and all of a sudden it just falls apart. The wheels come off, the roof comes off, and you're wondering, was it made like that? Did somebody do that on it? How is this not? I could have taken Paulie and I, well, especially Paulie. Paulie and I could have figured this out. All right, Paulie, what do you think? And Paulie would have said, because he knows what he's doing. Anybody covering this door or what? Well, let's say some crazy guy who checks into the hotel who has weapons decides he's going to barrel his way through there. Paulie, what are you, nuts? He's not going to come in through this way. He might. And he did. Why didn't they kill him? Why didn't they shoot him? Why didn't they absolutely just light him up, tune him up? Why? He should have been. None of it makes any sense. What was that? Not only that, did this genius think that somehow he was going to make his way through it? Brasileira mia. Our friend Carlos says, you know what I call this? BS. I don't know what you call it in Brazilian, but it's caca de toro, mierda, merd, igesta. It's bovine igesta. It's so bad. I don't even know. You think maybe K. Sarah would have been interested in that one? It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make it. I don't even know where to start. Where do I start with this stuff? I don't. I was just looking at this. I'm thinking to myself, now, I'm curious about one thing. What do you think? I would imagine not everybody here is a how do I say this? You're probably, how do I say this? Not everybody here is a Trump fan. Okay. Now let me explain something to you. I'm not a Trump fan. Separate from the job, there's a lot about the president that I like. And I don't want to go into details, but I know a little bit about him, and I know that there's a part of him he's a good egg. I know you don't think so. I know you don't think so. And everybody said, "Ooh, oh, the Epstein file." Would you lay off this Epstein files? Are you kidding me? Seriously, do you? There are no files there. But anyway, but he does some things that I will tell you right now I disagree with. His foreign policy is for shit. I don't think he knows what he's doing. And I'll tell him that. I don't know. Say, this isn't for you. Stick with things like the border, I guess. And where's Tom Homan? Where's Tom Homan? Okay. But Mr. President, I understand. This case stinks. You've got to go and you've got to tell people, you got to own this. If the president said to people just what you were thinking, he says, do you believe this stuff? First of all, in my Secret Service, this guy there would have been nothing left of him. He'd be like a cartoon, like, the smoke, this pile of a pair of shoes and the smoke. This is the way you do it. Have you ever seen, by the way, you like Tom Homan? Great. Where is Tom Homan? Do we have the borders taken care of? I don't know. Do we? I don't know. Time out for Lionel's moment. This morning at the airport, we were there up so early. And got to JFK. And first thing, I'm going to say something. And I hope you don't think ill of me. I just got to ask a question. Okay? First, I'm old enough, and I know we talk about this, and we remember that flying on a plane was kind of interesting. Flying was great. It was kind of exotic. It was they call airline foods. You like airline foods. They gave you this little thing, when you had silverware. They would take away your nail clippers, but they'd give you a knife on a plane. And a fork, anyway. I know things are different. After COVID, people wore pajamas everywhere, or pajamas, PJs, loungewear. They wore these things, and they wore these little slides with these stupid socks. Grown men wearing sandals with socks, slides, those Adidas slides and also ankle socks. Okay? You're a grown man and you dress like a little boy. What is the matter with you? Okay, fine. What are you going to do? Everybody's got this. They're all walking around. They're straight out of bed. They got pajamas. Okay, all right. The Crocs and the Uggs and all that. Oh my. And those Uggs. Those Uggs. Can you imagine those Uggs if you wore Uggs for about a couple of weeks straight without socks? Dear God, you could hold up a 7-Eleven with those things. Give me the money, I'm going to make you snort this. That's okay. Take it. But then we have this one. Then we have this new group of people, new predominantly, it's an urban thing with the bonnet or the silk kind of a like a hair, like a not a hairnet, a kind of like a shower cap, but a bonnet. I call it the La Fonda look. Sorry, Irish people, Swedes aren't wearing it. Not everybody who is of color wears it, but it's exclusively is if you're going to see it, it's going to be somebody of color. And it's a sign that I don't know what this is, but is it like an Elon Omar? Is it the hair thing? I don't know what it is, but whenever I see it, there's something that's like, what the hell is that? What is it? And in all of my YouTube videos, the people involved in, put it this way, if you see somebody, if you see somebody pulled over on a YouTube video wearing the bonnet, it's going to be props. It was the hoodie before. The hoodies, everybody, kids, young, old, there's this thuggish kind of a thing that just, so I'm just looking at this. Now, the thing I want to ask you is, please do not get wrong with me. Ladies, you're going to get mad at me. I'm telling you, I know this, but I got to ask you this question. Maybe you can help me with this because I don't understand it. Is the human body a beautiful thing? No. I mean, functionally, it's okay. It's not beautiful. Is the ear beautiful? No, but it's important, necessary. Okay. Got it? Okay, good. Years ago, there was a joke. Women would say, do I look fat in this? Does this make my butt look big? And people would wear, remember women would wear like sweaters around their sweaters. They were so worried that somehow you would observe something that you might thought would be callopygian. That, okay, maybe. Didn't really matter. It was a whole thing. Do I look fat? Do I look fat? Oh, God. Somebody somewhere said, here's the new style. Well, listen carefully. No matter what you look like, no matter what you wear, you could have a derriere the size of a double wide or some type of pavement equipment, and they go and they wear yoga pants, and I'm thinking, what are you doing? I wouldn't even care because they, dear God, and this kind of friction, you're going to set yourself on fire there. This is like, what is this? Two kids fighting under a blanket. When did this happen? When did this happen? When did this happen? When did somebody say, everybody's going to do this? We're going to wear black yoga pants. Irrespective. I know the Kardashians came in again with that callopygian look. I was just sitting there watching. I said, between the bonnets and the hairnets and the guys with the pajamas, and then this thing, I don't understand what this is. How did this happen? Here we go. Cheryl says, another one lefty shooter before Tyler Robinson trial. Another lone lefty. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. I don't know. But I will tell you this much. One thing. Thank you for that, though. We have lost anything involving style. I guess maybe self-respect to an extent. The Prada, Devil Wears Prada 2 is coming out, I think, in May. Do young people even know what this means like? Brasileira Mia says, in my opinion, Stephen Miller's heavily pregnant wife wearing a body-hugging dress felt inappropriate. What about Hexeth's wife? You see about this one? There's Livia. Livia, we love you, dear. I don't even wear yoga pants to the gym. You know what? I kind of wonder about that. I wonder. I don't know anything about. Mrs. L sometimes will say, look at that. She's not even wearing a slip. Let's go. What does that mean? You can see our visible panty lines. Oh, my God. I don't think that young people today, young women, know how to dress. Not at all. The rules. I don't think a lot of times that their mothers knew? I just don't think it's of any interest to any of these people. I mean, why are you doing this? Why in the name of God is this happening? Why? I just don't know. I don't understand the decline of culture. I don't want people to walk around wearing a morning coat, and a hoop skirt, but still. And the reason why, by the way, I think one of the reasons why we're having such a hard time explaining to people what's going on in the world is because they cannot understand the notion of the conspiracy theory, because it takes a certain degree of it takes a certain mentality for people to think this. It takes a certain mentality for people to think this. And there's no suspicion on their part. If I said to you, Mr. President, have you not fired everybody in Secret Service? Why are you? What is going on? Anybody? I mentioned this here today. Anybody see Putin's security detail? Oh my God! Oh, just their looks will scare you. Forget the guns. The looks. It's a look of. Did you ever see one time this one picture of Putin's guy? He says he's somebody. I think I think he might have been talking to a New York compatriot, or what you want to call it. It blew my mind. The look of absolute, very serious. It's a serious look. I don't want anything to happen to our president. I happen to like him. I like him. I like him. Just a minute. I like him. And I think you like him too. And he's done a lot for us. And he's done a lot to change the course of this country. And I don't want this, but I'm telling you something right now. We're going to have to realize, okay? I want to go out and say, ladies and gentlemen, I'm running for the president of the United States. But here's the catch. I have no party. I don't know what parties mean. They are a waste of time. I do not say conservative or liberal. I don't know. I want people who work in my administration who are historians, who are students of history, and who are not afraid to realize and to say that there are some things that are absolute bullshit. There is a world, my friend, that exists outside of what you see on Fox News and CNN. And if you don't know this, I can't help you. Call it conspiracy theory, call it whatever you want. Deep state, police state, intel state, shadow government, ruling class. I don't know. If you have to have labels, you're not in my administration. Period. We don't know what this means. We don't know what this means. In my administration, we tell you, we know exactly. And we've got to go out, and they're already here. They've infected. They're like a virus. It's like a computer virus. They're all over the government. And they think they run this place. And I'm going to make Washington a ghost town. I'm going to shut this place down. We've got more fat and lard and just unnecessary. And it's not just USAID. And whatever happened to USAID? Is that over with? We live in a country where we forget what's going on. Let me tell you something. It's going to be over with. Nobody cares about this thing tomorrow because somebody, who's this, Matt Walsh? Is it Matt or somebody? Somebody was it. Would you stop? I think it was him. Correct me if I'm wrong. Would you stop talking about this widow? Would you please stop giving us a widow line? Would you please stop talking about the widow line? Would you please, please, please? This is the part, and by the way, which is very interesting. This is very interesting. Look at this one. Oh, I like this. Our narcissistic, mostly harmless president has a pathological need to keep people around that he feels just a bit better than, just a bit smarter than, even though he knows he could do better. I like that, but I will go a step further. The problem with this president, he keeps people around that he thinks are cool. I would have Pete Hegseth nowhere near me, not because he supposedly is a drunk. I don't know about that. Because he's not equipped to be the Department of War, the Secretary of War. Kash Patel, you got to be kidding me. Christy Noem. The president likes people who are hot, or that he thinks are hot. He likes people who are in Fox. Remember when, I don't know if Trump goes batshit crazy when he got on the Truth Social. By the way, raise your hand. Anybody here follow Truth Social? Anybody follow Truth Social? Answer my question. Do you? Do you follow Truth Social? Seriously, is that where you go? Anybody? Do you find Getter? Getter's kind of more, that's kind of interesting to an extent. Does anybody follow Truth Social? It's like the old, I don't know what Rumble's doing, but Rumble was just too much. It was like, is it all the same? There's some things that just work and some things that just don't. But the president's of the belief that somehow he said that Tucker Carlson is below IQ, below normal IQ. Can you believe that? Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens. Candace Owens, in her cerumen, has more intelligence than half of the Democratic Party. And what that president did the other day by putting up this picture of her, I don't know what this thing, or whoever it was, that kind of a Aunt Jemima look, or whatever that, with the blotches. This was horrible. Up close. Where is this from? What was this? It looked like a death mask. It was horrible. What was the purpose of that? Seriously, what were you trying to do? And I'm not one, by the way, who uses words like, "Oh, that's racist." I don't do that. That's not my thing. I don't do that. I think sometimes the word is overdone. This was clearly intended to highlight racial features, racial accoutrement that might not have been that pleasant or, what am I trying to say? Pleasant or appealing. Okay, that's got to stop. And by the way, there's one thing that never comes up with Candace is race. Never. She never plays it. Never. The only thing she talks about race is by saying that race doesn't apply. Never. She's not a black woman. She's a woman. Doesn't even matter. She's not even a woman. She's an American. She's one of the smartest, brightest people, bar none. And I'm not trying to kiss her ass. I'm telling you the truth. And that's what these people don't understand. They don't understand Candace's worth, and they don't understand the absolute vacuity of this Erica Kirk. I swear to God, to say, you didn't know this? What, am I, a genius? Am I a genius? I don't understand it. I just don't. I don't get it. But let me tell you something, okay? There's a new group of people in here, and I may not be around to see it, but it's happening. And it started with Charlie. It started with Charlie, and it started with Candace. A lot of you folks came in and liked Charlie, and you might not have been the biggest Trump fans. You might not have been it or been, I don't know. But this was the most important thing in the world. Listen to me very, very carefully. Listen to me. There are folks, you and I believe in certain fundamentals. Number one, what makes a country what it is are values, traditions, language, culture, shared history, and appreciation of history. We are Americans. We speak English, and we don't have to be Judeo-Christian or Christian or Judeo or anything else. That doesn't really matter. But we put a very high priority on faith. First Amendment, and family. We do not believe that there is anything malleable, protean, or transmogrifying, unented regarding the firewall of gender. Period. Don't even start it. Don't wait. If we hear the first thing that even sounds like it, you're out. Get out. We don't buy it. It's over with. Why you wasted your time with this, I have no idea. Okay? We have no idea about Black Lives Matter as opposed to all lives matter, especially after some drug-addled thug died of a drug overdose. This absolute miscreant, this George Floyd, this just nullity. He was this absolute nullity. And you put us through hell because of that? Ladies and gentlemen, Jennifer Chandler. Tell me that doesn't sound like something from, Knots Landing or something. Jennifer Chandler. Jennifer says, love your podcast. I think it's such a hypocrisy for Donald Trump to call for Jimmy Kimmel to be fired for his satire when he threatens to take out a whole civilization. He can do it as long as it's not. Listen, if I were there, I would have said, Jimmy Kimmel's a schmuck. It doesn't matter. That would have hurt. That would have killed Jimmy Kimmel. Or anything. Whatever he wants. The only reason Jimmy Kimmel wants you to talk about him is because nobody's talking about him. Nobody even saw this thing. If I were the president, I'd say, you know what most people said? Who's Jimmy Kimmel? And number two, what did he say? When did he say it? Didn't you hear him? I don't watch that shit. Quick. How many people knew? Seriously. How many people knew anything about it? How many people watch Jimmy Kimmel? Who? Seriously. Anybody? 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 No. This is the thing which is the most important. And the Democrats have nothing. And they're going through so much, they're going through such pain, such contretemps, such, oh my God. They're always emotionally in extremis. Oh, this president. Oh, what about the Democrats? No, the Democrats. There are no Democrats. There are no Democrats. You can't even make up your mind about Gavin Newsom. There are no Democrats. You understand this? You had basically this incontinent coot dropping a deuce in his pants every 5 minutes. But it was handcuffed to some root cellar in some, Wilmington, Delaware. This guy was a maundering dotard who was never even in Washington the whole time. And then you were going to replace him with that word salad, verbally incontinent lunatic, Kamala. So there is no Democratic Party. So just do me a favor. I'll make a rule with you. If you don't have anything in place of Donald Trump, I don't want to hear your opinion. With all due respect. Oh, he's a fascist. What are you going to vote for? I'm not going to vote for anything. Why? Because you've got nothing. I don't like what he's doing with the Iranian and the Strait of Hormuz. Great. What do you suggest? I don't know. I'm just here to dislike everything Donald Trump says. We can read right through you. So unless you have a candidate or some position contrary to or supplementing, I don't want to hear about how you don't like Trump because it doesn't mean anything. It's like you go into a restaurant. This is shit. What do you want? This is terrible. Well, what do you want? You call this bouillabaisse? No, I don't. But what do you want? I don't have any suggestions. I just love to complain. That's what I do. I just love all my friends who sit around and say, what? Do you have any great puns, any zingers about Trump? Bring up the Epstein thing. There's no Epstein. There's nothing. There's always some woman out there, somebody. Well, they say there's a woman who. This again? Did he handle Epstein poorly? Horribly. Stupidly. Who do you have in mind? Anybody better? Who? Nothing. They don't. There's no Democratic Party. They sit around, they have a thing called no kings. What the hell does that mean? I don't know. What do you mean no kings? I don't know. It's no kings or something. What does no kings mean? I don't know what it means. It's this thing we go on, we make fun of Trump. Well, what do you want? I don't know. What do you stand for? I don't know. What's your position? What's your worldview? I don't have a worldview. What do you want? I don't know. You don't like what's going on in Iran? What would you do? Well, not that. What would you do instead? I don't know. They're worthless. They're worthless. So do me a favor. I love all the anti-Trump stuff, but if you don't have somebody, just say, you're like the guy who just complains and has no suggestion. That's all. But we're going to get through this. You know why? Because we're smarter than these people and we're better than these people. You understand? We're better than these people. Do you hear what I'm saying? We're better than these people. Okay? You got it? All right, my friends. Well, let me thank you for this, by the way. You've been terrific. We're gonna do more of these lives. I love these lives. I'm gonna do more of these again. I'm enjoying them a lot because you come forward. There's so much stuff. Most of you, if not all of you, are terrific. And by the way, I appreciate it. You've been very, very good. I don't care if somebody, gets a zinger now and then, a troll here and there. Whatever. As long as we just basically show some semblance of humanity towards each other. All right? You got that? You got that? All right. Well, listen. Remember, we are family. I've got all my sisters with me. It's you and me, my friend. You and me against the world. That's what we are. And when Trump's gone, and by the way, J.D. Vance, don't get near him. He's a Palantir bitch. No way. You know what? This may be the end of anything remotely Republican. I don't know who's even Ron DeSantis is sucking up to big tech, and Trump is too. So I don't know who. See, you know what about Trump? I got to say something. It's not that Trump has changed, but the efficacy, the world has changed. It's a little bit more nuanced. It's much more. AI changed everything, and it's a whole different world. And I think that, well, we'll get to that later. Anyway, everybody happy? Everybody happy today? Everybody happy? Everybody happy? Everybody happy? Thank you so much. Lolly Pilgrim, thank you so much. I'll say hello to Mrs. Al. I got to pick her up right now. We got to do some stuff. We're doing some business. Anyway, I had to do this. I had to speak with you. I'll be talking to you again. By the way, make sure you stay subscribed to this thing that we're doing here on the Lionel show, Lionel Nation. I love you to death. Seriously, I really do. I love you. I honestly love you. You like my singing. It's Ethel Merman meets Bert Lahr. All right, my friends, don't forget, like the video. Please subscribe to Lynn's Warriors and like the video and hit that little bell so you're notified of live streams and new videos. And we'll probably do, I think, maybe another live tomorrow. I think at 9 o'clock or something. I'm just going to, because I start early. And anyway, I'm just going to do whatever I want because I just love this. I love this. I love this so much, more than you ever know. Sometimes it be like that. Homeboy and got about the mama crib. All right, my friends. Talk to you then. Remember, the monkey's dead. Show's over. Sue ya. Dad.